Okay.
That voice never ceases to be amazing for me. Here we are.
The playoff recap.
The playoff recap, the season finale, the big shebang.
Yeah. Alex has got his Tundra on.
Yeah, casual. Didn't have time to shower. Get here, race home. Here we are.
I figured
$1 million.
because obviously I'm a huge Georgia fan, so I had to.
You picked them to lose, but I was right there with you.
I know I was a little upset, but before we get going too far, we messed up last episode, Dad. Please roll that lovely intro one more time.
Here we go. Last
Good.
one of the season. Do we redo the intro next year or just keep the same splashes?
It needs to be a new one.
It needs,
or at least add your fun fall in there.
Okay.
Your
Yeah.
fall, I should say. We can't all be perfect.
We can do something more.
Okay.
I want to do something cool. I don't know what that is, but we'll do it. That's for sure.
Why don't you put that in the comments? What you want us to do? Right down there.
That scares me. I don't know. I mean, I'm already on a side note, not that anyone asked, but I'm going to tell you. I did lose my fantasy football league, and it's the one that you don't want to lose.
You lost it all?
I did.
He always manages to be down there every year. He's lost it once before. Damn near lost it last year.
And I was one win away from being in the playoffs this year. I had 3 weeks to win one game, and I could not. My team was just bad. So I got a lot of punishments that I could potentially do. So
top one that you're like, okay, if I get this, it wouldn't be too bad.
There's we'll extend it to PG-13 rating here. So there's 2 that are going to be time efficient, painful, but done
over and done with.
One is a Brazilian wax, which sounds awful, but it is done. It is
start growing those out.
Growing them out. Gotta grow them out. And then the second one is a paintball hunt for like 5 or 10 minutes. I have to like dress up in like an animal costume, and the rest of the league gets to hunt me through the woods for like 10 minutes.
I would not want the paintball one.
No, because I'm gonna get shot a lot. There's 11 other people in the
once they find you, they're just gonna keep chasing and shooting and shooting and shooting.
And
you go in the fetal position and you beg for mercy.
And I've shot Josh in paintball before. Great father-son moment.
Yeah, I'm easy to get.
I'm tougher now. But then there's why is that so funny? And then the longer ones that are less physically painful that you don't want to do though, because it's going to ruin your weekend. One is, I mean, it's not bad. It's just a whole day is you have to ride as many rides as you can at Valley Fair. Try to ride every ride at Valley Fair from there at opening.
Sounds enjoyable.
You have to be there till the end, but you're all by yourself. So, I mean, you're just at Valley Fair by yourself all day.
And you can't bring your phone or like a GoPro on the rides. That's a big no-no.
Yeah. So I have to like take pictures. Or this one is find a fast food restaurant to interview and work a weekend shift.
Oh. And this is where
that's your weekend.
Is that roll? Is this you roll the dice? I mean, you roll the wheel, and it's going to be one of those.
So it's one of them. So there's 4 options.
All right, you get the fast food joint.
A part of me just wants to work at McDonald's, but also part of me, if I had to choose, I'd probably choose Subway. Subway seems Like I would enjoy that a little bit more.
Greeter count?
No, that's no fast food. And then there's another one where you literally have to make a karaoke album. So that one would be kind of funny. But it's going to take a lot of time and effort, and I'm a horrible singer, but I got some friends. So
you're good to go.
There's a lot of options, a lot of bad ones. So stay tuned. We'll find out which one.
Yeah, we'll have more next year when we have our preseason show and can tell you what happened with that and
tell you how it goes.
A few months to laugh at it.
Yeah, we got all year sometimes.
So this is the recap show. Pretty great year. I'm just excited every week to do this. Here we are. We're pushing 40 episodes.
Woo!
That's crazy.
It's a long season.
So we only had 2 games.
Yep.
Alex, start us off with your version, since you're the closest to campus.
Oh my goodness. They were hyping this game up. They're like, oh, they got the same offenses. They're going to ground pound. It's going to be down to the last possession. And boy, could it have not been any more wrong. NDSU came out hot, did not lay off the throttle, and just buried them by like halftime. The game was over. And
I think what was the halftime score? Like 28-0?
Yeah. It got to the point when in the second half, it's like, oh, if they score, this game sucks.
Yeah. Embarrassing.
And then they kick the field goal. You're like, done. It sucks. So, kept the dynasty going. 9 out of 11 years, national champions. Pretty sweet.
That's outstanding.
It was impressive.
Reloading.
It was, I don't think it would have it didn't feel like it would make a difference in the win-loss, but when Mellett went down, he was 2 for 3, had already thrown for 23 yards. They were kind of moving the ball.
They were moving the ball.
Yeah.
True freshman, absolute stud. And I'll take that he got hurt, but it is a big bummer. I don't know if it would change the outcome much, but yeah, big loss for Montana.
I don't think it would have changed the outcome of the win-loss.
No,
I think NDSU came in there knowing that they were going to dominate. But
needless to say, I'm happy it wasn't South Dakota State, because then it could have been a very different game as we've seen before.
Absolutely. I think South Dakota State would have been a better game, hands down, because they don't have that doubt. Like everyone else is like, crap, NDSU does not lose this game. They haven't. They've been there 9 times in the past 11 years. They've won it 9 times. But South Dakota State knows they can beat North Dakota State. They've proven it. They've beaten them twice in like 3 years.
Yeah, and whenever NDSU, like when they lose, few and far between, and they have like a 1-loss season, guess who it's to? Always South Dakota State.
Exactly. So all those teams, like South Dakota State has a swagger about them. They're like, yeah, we can beat them. Mm-hmm. Everyone else thinks they can beat them.
Well, and sprinkle northern Iowa in there occasionally too.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Northern Iowa. Normally it's a pretty hard fought battle right there. It's normally like when UNI comes up or SDSU, it's like, okay, got to play smart, no turnovers. It's gonna be a physical game.
Yeah, you actually get nervous.
Or whenever they played James Madison, what they played to get into the championship.
Yep.
That, in my opinion, was their overall championship game. It was awesome to see James Madison lose their last FCS game before going to the FBS next year.
Yeah, love to see it.
Well, what about Lupke? Oh my gosh! And you said, Alex, normally he's not a factor at all.
He's just a fullback. Third down, run just north, south, right up the middle.
And Hunter Lipke, whatever.
Hunter Lipke. Yeah. He's just like stocky, farm strong, and
3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He can catch the ball. He can block. He can run. I mean, guy is just a playmaker. He just wants to win.
He can do it. He can do a knee dab. Unbelievable. So, Dad, when you're watching the game, did you see his third touchdown celebration where he paused, jumped, and looked like headbutt?
It looked like me out there.
Watching the game, I'm sitting there going what the hell was that? And the announcers were
got a text from you about it.
What was that? So they hand him the microphone. They're like, 3 touchdowns, 3 celebrations. What was that? And he called out. He must have been a friend or a roommate. Yeah, that was the knee dab. And I'm like, sure,
Okay.
sure.
Well, in the first
That
one,
might be. Yeah.
the first one,
It's
it looked
gonna-
like he got so excited he was going to go, and he caught himself, but then he kind of flicked it underhand and then did a little dance or something.
Yeah. I love the knee dab. I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna bring the knee dab to 2022 season. It's gonna be great.
Well,
And it's already 6 years ago that Josh and I were at that game.
Wow.
Here's
Yep.
Getting
Jacksonville State, NDSU.
old.
And the weather
Yeah.
was very similar to when we were down there. It
Similar.
was like 40 degrees, a little drizzly, a little cold. But
Yeah, I was watching it and I was like, been there when it felt like that too. So no, I would happily go down as an NDSU fan just to experience Frisco and NDSU at its finest. So
I mean, just the tailgating, I think just over 19,000 traveled down there. So
Yeah.
it's pretty sweet.
and of course, yeah, plain simple, they finished with a dominating win. Huge, nicely done. NDSU.
Yeah, the algorithm hasn't quite figured out FCS yet. That clearly missed the mark on that one.
Yeah. Woof. I went from, top of the charts. I didn't win it all. Alex, you won it all last year.
Yeah.
To the
Gosh,
to
L
the
for
bottom. L for love.
I feel like I'm the winner because I came within one of the guests, and if it weren't, when we were together last week, it's like, guys, can I change my pick from Montana State?
Yeah, you would have tied the guess, but that's pretty solid outcome you had there. You finished. I mean, you were consistent. The worst you had was 5, and I look over at mine and I go, I had 2
threes.
2 3s. Bad, just bad. And it's like, yeah, you can't expect to win it all. You throw a couple bad weeks out there, even with some good weeks with some 8s and some 9s. Yeah, you throw a 3 spot out of 10. Woof.
That hurts.
That is not
Well, let's
good.
take a look at before we move to the big game. Have you looked at your picks again from our early season?
No.
Clemson.
Wow.
There we go.
Clemson did
boy.
well.
And they only had
Not.
3 losses. So, not horrible.
Oh,
Yeah, look at that. Picking the SEC perfectly.
SEC, and I got Pitt on the ACC.
Yep. Oklahoma.
Boy, did we miss on the Big 12.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Big time. Iowa just didn't bounce back like the exciting season they finished last year. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
And Josh, you pulled Oregon out. Otherwise, and then Alex got Utah.
I got
Nice.
Utah in there.
go.
Quality.
Yeah, I know not to go with USC.
Yeah, I didn't learn that at all. I
And-
did it. Whoa, look at I had Iowa in there. Hey.
Yeah, I forgot that you had Iowa.
Wisconsin wanted to creep back in late in the season, but nope.
And I got one playoff team in there. Alex won.
Ohio
Dad
State,
had
Georgia.
2.
Oh, Clemson. Jesus. 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, did we think highly of Clemson at the beginning of the season.
And why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, and I was just looking back and let's see here. Just because this is fun.
Oh boy.
Bama won for sure. I'm going to go Ohio State 2.
Alex, you have a nice shirt.
Clemson 3.
Great shirt.
And this is the one. See, this is when you guys were laughing at me. That throws me a little bit on how to do this. Actually, let me change that. Clemson 4.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
number 3
Same reaction.
is going to be Georgia.
No, Dad, you just want to brag.
Plays Clemson.
You just want to brag
Right,
that
it's better.
you
And Georgia, and they beat them because Clemson, if you're going to beat Clemson,
Pick that one.
Beat Ohio State, you better do it early in the year.
Yep.
Yeah, just like those Gophers.
And then they'll cruise through and play, lose to Bama, but that will be their only loss.
There it is.
Yep, and that brings
Weird.
us to
Georgia.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that segment brought to you strictly for bragging purposes, but that is kind of cool. Like the very beginning, before a game is even played, I was gonna say you had the Alabama Georgia storyline. It's just the other two teams, you would have never picked Michigan and or Cincinnati to get in there, but that's okay. They were irrelevant in the final, climax of the story. So that was pretty cool.
It was and I figured you guys and everyone was saying how boring the first half was, but
I liked it.
You two are defensive guys.
Yeah.
Defense was solid.
Yeah. And then second half opened up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they started to click. I think the big factor was watching both games through and through is Georgia's defense played like Georgia's defense. They got off the field. Whereas in the SEC, they were just run down. They were tired. They were fatigued. And Alabama, granted, had two all-star, all-American wide receivers still playing for them. Yep. Now, you take those two out, Alabama has talent to fill it in, but you don't have that same repertoire, that experience with your offense. But still, Georgia's defense showed up and they got off the field.
It definitely hurt when Williams tore his ACL. Alex, Josh, you called it right away.
Wait, is it confirmed?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could see it from a mile. It was funny because
ACL.
Because I saw him kind of go down. I'm like, oh, weird, like maybe like a cramp or whatever. And I saw it live in slow-mo. And then I was like, oh, his ACL. And everyone's like, oh, seriously? Like, or Ashley and Cameron are like, I'm like, here. So I rewinded it, played it in slow-mo. They're like, oh, why are you doing this? And like literally you can see his knee go whoop to the side, and then his muscles contract and it goes boop back in. And I'm like, ACL, she gone. Like instantly, I'm like, that knee shifted hard. I'm like, that ACL is long gone. Everyone's like, oh, it's good. It's probably less severe. He's walking on it. You guys are idiots.
Yeah, he had the Georgia running game, Dalvin Cook's brother.
Yeah, that was super cool.
They were able to move the ball, and I was just looking at it now. 30 yards of rushing for Bama.
Seriously, when they dominated the SEC rushing game for sure.
And
like the roles were literally flipped. I mean, Georgia controlled the ball on defense. They ran it on offense, and Alabama was just beat up.
Mm-hmm.
And could we have a longer game? Oh my gosh.
But it was exciting.
I didn't even finish the game.
No. Yeah, you gotta hack up along. And he said, I gotta go to bed. I says to the guy, I coughing up along, I gotta go to bed.
No, caught whatever Jerry had.
Oh, tough. So, anyways, yeah, I mean, for you guys, it's probably less exciting. Meanwhile, I have Cameron.
Oh yeah,
upstairs watching the game. I said none of us were drinking an ounce of booze, no alcohol, and this girl is screaming her guts out, like just nuts. Ashley was tired. She went to bed super early, like 9 o'clock. there's no way in hell Ashley got a wink of sleep because every time Georgia did something amazing, Cameron's up there screaming, not only screaming, but she's running down the hallway towards the bedroom that Ashley is trying to fall asleep. And I'm just sitting on the couch going, wow, if that was me, I'm getting yelled at and screamed at, but it's Cameron, so it's fine. But yeah, she was going nuts. It made it super entertaining for me. I was, even though I know I picked Bama, I was cheering for Georgia 100%. I wanted Georgia to win.
It was interesting watching the throwback of when they won the title the last time. And I remember that team. Herschel Walker's Georgia Bulldogs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it always cracks me up when they talk about like, oh man, Georgia's had quite the dry streak. Like, you want to be a Minnesota fan of any sport?
Yeah.
You want to talk about dry streaks?
Pretty dry.
Our last championship was in the 40s. You're complaining that your last one was 80.
Yeah.
We got you beat by another 40.
Oh no, we were back in 1960.
In the 60s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a lot closer.
Sorry. Mm-hmm.
So looking back at the year, we've covered, Bama, that just gives Saban another reason to come back and reload for next year.
Win another one.
Highlight either a pick or a game or an event that you two would say stick in your head from this year.
There's two. One, NDSU winning. It's just fun knowing that I was there.
Yeah.
Dynasty's going. Who everyone thought it was going to kind of fizz out, and championship seasons were done.
Alex, I agree with you. When you're watching the fans storm the field and you're like, oh, we've been there in that environment. Oh, that's what I was thinking the whole time. I'm like, that is so cool.
Yes. And so they weren't supposed to storm the field, obviously.
Yeah.
And so Midwest Nice, you're like, oh, we're going to storm the field. And so, of course,
we're just going to step onto it.
The first few people. And then once the few people went over, boom, the wave comes over and like, okay, here you go.
All right. Yeah. I'm sorry. Sorry. And then bouncing off that Minnesota-Wisconsin game, even though I was excited for Wisconsin and picked them to win that game, Minnesota had a huge win, storming the field, excellent tailgating, excellent game, storming the field, excellent lifetime memory. Just a great freaking day in general. So that, I was going to say, game-wise, hands down, one of the best games I've ever been to, if not the best. Spending it with awesome people, tailgate, phenomenal. It was cold, but not freezing. We could have used a light drizzle of snow for effect, but that would have been the cherry on top. But and then almost getting on that goalpost, don't forget.
So close.
Yeah. But no, it was my idea to think of like something that just sticks in your head. And mine goes back to, I think it's like week 2 or 3. It was the Oklahoma-Nebraska game. And it was the Oklahoma intercept, like the Superman interception, where like he like reaches across his body and just picks it off like that. One-handed, sticks it, tucks it in the red zone.
Ridiculous.
It's an absolute, I was gonna say a lot of people don't appreciate it, but I'm like, this guy literally flew out of nowhere to one arm
to his hand.
Yeah, and it wasn't like he caught it and it gave. He caught it like this, so he just gripped it and then tucked it in mid dive. That play just sticks in my head. That play is like, wow.
I forgot about that one.
Right? Yeah, it was insane. I'm like, it happened so early, people forget about it, but like I can't stop thinking about it.
I'm just looking up because I can't think of his name. So Echo for sure. Being with you guys, fun crowd. The Wisconsin game, hands down, top to bottom, was the best. Just incredible game. The other end of it, starting out the year, even though they lost that first half of the Go for Ohio State game, first time being, it was a full house. There was energy. we can be in a stadium again. You know, it wasn't an empty stadium. That was just phenomenal. I'm going with the last 5 minutes of Purdue and Tennessee.
That
was a pretty epic finish.
Oh my gosh.
What was it? Five touchdowns scored?
Yes.
Yep.
In 5 minutes.
Able to win it. I just want to stem one more. Just like the random 11 o'clock game and at Ohio State, Oregon just comes on in there and just lays a whooping on them. So I'm just watching like, I did not pick Oregon to win this game, but man, they come out hot.
Oh man. How petty would that have been to just buy like on Amazon, like 2-day shipping, just like a little handheld Oregon flag and stick it in that house with the Ohio State flag. Just jab it in there and GTFO, get the frick out of town.
Totally worth it, just so someone's aware.
Dude, I might have to do that next year. How funny would that be?
Oh my.
Just put whatever team beats Ohio State. And if it's a Big Ten, I don't know, just find a crappy little thing and just stick it in their lawn and see how
every time they lose.
every time. That would be amazing.
This guy, they put these little flags in our yard. I hate that person.
And I would probably do it on a walk. Like that's part of our walking pattern. Be like, Elsie, we're gonna walk on the wrong side of the street. We're going boop. Boop. I'll take a picture and send it to you guys.
For next year, November 6th. So Josh, I don't know if that's too close to a big day, but there's a game in Lincoln, Alex.
Oh yeah.
And I was really happy to see the Gopher schedule the way it was a week ago. They played Nebraska early. They played Iowa early. 7 games, 6 home to start out the season.
Yeah, I saw that. That's nice.
And then finished with 1 away game, but the Big Ten, I'm sure the Big Ten network, and then they pushed all the big 3 games to the last 3, Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, to finish out the season.
Yes. And also to Ted, the Purdue Boilermakers are coming to town. We've been talking about getting together for
homecoming.
Gopher. Is it homecoming for Minnesota?
Yes.
Not that I know what homecoming in Minnesota is like. More of a Winona State guy, but I feel we can make that happen. Like Ted and Jenny can get to our house. We're gonna make it happen either way. But I think that would be super fun and plan on, I don't know, making a full day of it. Alex, you can come down too. It's gonna be awesome.
I found something to throw out there before we wrap up. This is interesting from this year.
What is this? Here are the final conference standings.
Big 12,
is this like the bowls?
Yeah, these are the bowls.
Ooh.
What jumps out at you as you're going through the list?
Pac-12.
Yes.
Pac-12 is a big goose egg. Not one Pac-12 team won.
Oh, and they only 5 out of the 12, and then 0-5. Big Ten was 5-0.
Yep. Yeah. Who laid in? Oh, Rutgers. Rutgers had to play Wake Forest, so they that was a beat down.
That one really doesn't count, but I just thought this was interesting looking at. And then the Mountain West. What?
Oh. SEC did not do good, but boy, did their teams make the bowls.
Yeah. You got 2 of their teams playing in the national championship. So you're going to get 1 win, you're going to get 1 loss.
So anyway, I thought that was interesting.
Not too shabby. Yeah, overall, I mean, way to show out Big Ten. We made the playoffs. Granted, we got embarrassed in the playoffs, but it was to the national.
There. It was a good year by Michigan. Huge year.
Fine. It was. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
Anything besides Ohio State, I'm all for.
So before we sign off, as we wind down, we should be, we talked about it and we've got a few months to hash it over. Year one, we did just wins. Year two, we did wins over spread and then just went wins in the playoff or in the bowl week.
Yep.
What about a 2-point system?
Which
Is that too complicated?
Which is
1 point picking the winner, 1 point picking the spread.
I
I mean,
I like the way we did it this year.
Yeah, I was just thinking out loud.
I get it. I mean, I think if it was just us three, sure, because we get the concept and everything. The fact that sometimes we are still explaining what the spread is going to confuse some people.
Yeah.
I like the way we did it this year. I thought it was great. We had a couple
Kept
new
it interesting, especially when oh God, this team's gonna win, but
right.
So
Yeah.
I thought that was good.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I definitely think continuing to pick on the spread keeps it fair and even. It keeps it more interesting, that we're not all picking Ohio State over Maryland because they have a 30-point spread. I thought that was a good idea.
Well, and and thank you to all the guests from all over the country for coming on, and our spouses. And Eric, you're in next year, and Emma, we're going to have our first guest from DC next year, so be ready.
There we go. Yeah, I was gonna say we kind of covered all over the place. Texas, we had two Texas pickers, John and Ryan. Yeah, all good stuff. So no, I would say another successful, phenomenal season, fun for college football. But on that note,
Off season.
but it's time for off season. Alex, start doing your prep for next season Sports Dolls podcast.
Yeah.
Starting now.
And here we go. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you guys. Awesome.
As always, bringing in one last time. Until August of 2022. Here we go. Sports Dolls on 3. 1, 2, 3. Sports Dolls.
Time to eat. Let's go.
I was just gonna say, you could tell Alex was getting the hangries.
Oh, it's just I'm not good at sitting this long. So
Hey, where's your snowball microphone? Oh gosh, I just didn't I didn't see it there from a minute. I was like waiting for it.
you never see it.
Yeah, because it's so stealthy.
I did drop the ball. Didn't even get a plug for blue, but that's okay.
Before you go, Alex, how did bowling go last night? Did the bowling gods come back or
No. 147, 5 opens. Ow.
Boo.
178, 223.
All right. Well, we got better. 147. I see that's the game that I bowl like a 153 and beat Alex.
yeah?
Let's just say it was a little more mental. I was getting a little poopy pants. My friend Jared, though, who is a 7 or 4 handicap, just sent me a text. Shot a 142 tonight.
What a loser.
Yeah, it's like golf. Just when you think you figured it out, bring you back down. Let's go.
All right. I also haven't eaten and I need to eat.